Hello, this is Jack from Exploding Head Sessions, and I'm here with Tim. You all right, Tim?
Hello. Very good, thank you. Nice to see you. In slightly strange circumstances.
Good, good. So this is yeah, I know, right? So obviously, like everybody else, we're holed up in our own homes, but we miss each other so much. We thought we'd inflict everybody on talking about the sessions because we
Yeah,
figured
well,
everyone must be so bored they'll probably watch it
I
or
mean,
listen to
yeah,
it.
if not now, then maybe in 3 months' time, where everyone's watched everything on Netflix and literally run out of things to watch. But I think
Exactly,
it's quite
exactly.
nice for us as well to actually have a time to just take a bit of stock because it's been pretty non-stop for us since we started in August 2017.
Yeah, is that what the
20,
poster says? It kind of. I'm looking behind me like it's there.
was
This
it
is
28?
terrible. Getting with technology.
No, yeah, 2018. No, because
It was
2020. This will be
2017, wasn't
so
it?
2017. This will be our third August, wouldn't it? So other than the
Which
little
should be
break that we had
2020.
when
Yeah.
when the lock tavern closed, we've been pretty much full on. So I think this is quite nice to, I don't know, have just a retrospective look at
Yeah.
some of the bands we've put on and the kind of how smooth it went, how smooth it didn't go, which was often the case.
Well,
Um,
I mean, I went. To be fair, it's gone pretty smooth. This is probably the biggest hiccup we've had. I mean, we've had a few, but there's always been the occasional last minute. Oh shit, we've got to find a band. um, but like, I mean, for the first session, you completely put out the stops really because I look at this lineup, and I mean, to have Claw
yeah,
Marks headline,
I mean
well,
it
as
was
well.
kind of good timing. I managed to pull in a couple of favors from our good friend James Burgess, who is obviously in Claw Marks and also in Revenue. So I'd actually I was studying at the time and I needed a band for my uni project, a recording session, and I actually approached James about recording Claw Marks, but they were in the process of recording their debut album, and I think they'd started the kind of the initial sort of process of getting that recorded. So he said that they might be available, but anything that we record, they probably would just use as kind of a practice before they actually record properly for the album. But then he said that he just started this new band, described them to me, sounded great, and it kind of a good band for me to start with as well. Like in terms of recording, kind of they're just four-piece punk bands, not a huge arrangement, and just music that I already knew and loved. So I kind of had an idea as good starting points and that kind of thing. So I'd actually already recorded their first EP before we even started Exploding Head. So when we were in that initial phase of looking for bands, because that was always going to be the challenge, I think. Starting something new, especially like this. We were at Paper Dress. We didn't really have a budget, so it was very much about contacting bands and just kind of asking for some goodwill. And like the chance, hopefully, to come down and do something a bit new and something interesting that other venues and other promoters maybe weren't offering. Um, so it worked out nicely. Getting both Revenue and Clawmax was
Yeah,
great on the same lineup, and obviously,
yeah, and revenue absolutely. I mean, it's there's a number of bands. I guess we'll work out how many bands as we go through this are no longer as bands, but
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
they were like a short-lived band, really, weren't they? But that
yeah,
was a frick to see them live was insane. I remember, like, wasn't it like backflips and all sorts, wasn't it? I immediately was watching it through the screen, the security screen, because I was downstairs
yeah,
trying to pull back
yeah.
some cash.
Because in those days, yeah,
Because in those
you
days
had
we
to be
didn't have a
on
budget,
the
so we
door,
pulled
didn't
out of
you?
our
So
pocket.
you were
Yeah,
asking,
that's,
pay whatever you
no
can.
photos officially until about session 7. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is a policy we still have.
Wow.
But it's still is it still on the posters? Maybe
No,
it's
no,
not. I don't
no,
know.
no. It's free entry now. Yeah, yeah,
Strictly free entry.
yeah,
But that I mean that like EP that you recorded with them was really great, and then that live
yeah,
session as well was really good too.
yeah. It's a shame as well because we did actually go back into the studio and we recorded a second EP, but they decided to call it a day before they released it. So once they kind of called it a day as well, I think a few members of the band just were not fussed about putting it out. So I still have it, and it's great, and I love it, and I'm really proud of how it sounds. But unfortunately, it's just on my laptop. maybe like maybe like 30 years down the line or something, I can put it out and say like, you know, the Revenue lost tapes or something, and make a shitload of money off it. But probably not.
Right. I think this is the perfect. This should be the perfect
should we play it?
For Exploding Heads Records.
So the first band
Do you know what I mean?
of Exploding Head 1, and Paper Dress was absolutely rammed this night. We were so worried about if anyone was actually even going to come, and I mean, could not have started any better, really. So this is Revenue. This is Transition from their first EP.
I mean, it's amazing.
Here we go.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, it's so good, man. So good.
Yeah, that is really good. Yeah, like
you can just hear the intensity. It's like, yeah. I mean, what a way to kick it all off. I think the thing that's really,
I forget.
Yeah, so I was going to say that the thing that I think that makes him really great is, I mean, Joe's a really good guitarist, but I've forgotten his name now, the bassist. Sam? Yeah, I think it's Sam.
Man, it's the bass player.
He plays, but he's a guitarist. He plays guitar in a couple of other bands. I think Jackals, the other band that he's in. So he's like a guitarist who then played bass in Revenue. So I think what was really cool is a lot of his good bass lines were very sort of like riff based and very, you could tell they were kind of like, he comes from a guitar sort of background.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really good. Sorely missed. Like they were really only around for like a year and a half or something like that, if that, and yeah, just disappeared.
Yeah, no, I mean, really, really intense, really fast, really tight, really, really good. Like, yeah. I guess there's all these bands that we have booked that, I mean, that's the great thing about, I think it's one of the great things about doing this is that we're sort of capturing stuff that was only around for a short time.
Yeah.
So there'll be, if you're listening to this now and you never saw Revenue, it's unlikely you're going to see them play again.
Yeah,
but we've got a pocket of it.
Sure,
We've got like a session, which you can listen to all these sessions on the SoundCloud page.
Yeah,
which is cool. So we had Revenue kicked off the first one, and obviously the second one, it was Brunch, which was interesting because obviously Tim and we didn't know each other.
No.
A few months. We didn't even know each other like 6 months before Exploding Head started. So we were put together through a mutual mate. So thank you very much, Gareth, for this, because here we are now.
Cheers, Gareth.
And we put together a list of bands that we both had a keen interest in. And Brunch were the first one that we both put down. We both were keen to book.
Yeah, I'd seen them.
And I remember seeing.
Yeah, I'd seen them at the Victoria, I think, not too long before I met up with you. And the Ellie, who's the book at the Victoria, they're one of her favourite bands. So she was kind of like. She was raving about them before they played, and they definitely delivered at the Victoria. They've got
that really nice kind of American DIY, sort of grungy ethic, haven't they? Because I saw them play. So I obviously when I've had the gift of twins, so I didn't really go out to any gigs for a couple of years, and then at the last minute I got a text from my mate asking me if I wanted to go and see a band play at the 100 Club. I can't remember who they were. I think they called Piston, maybe.
Right.
Is that a band? Anyway, a sort of a hardcore-ish kind of like Piston band. And so I just went down about the last minute, not really know anything about them or who was support, and it was Brunch that were supporting them. And I just remember seeing them play just was like really made me think, oh man, I really want to get back into like doing a show.
Yeah.
And I really wanted it. I had this been sitting on this idea of trying to record live sessions with bands in like small London venues, and I thought someone like them would be great. And I remember their guitarist Adrian was just like leaping around, having like the time of his life. He had like a yellow cycling cap on. He just looked like an awesome person.
Sure.
So like it was really great that we approached them, and they said yes.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh yeah, it's that easy. Do you know what I mean? You can see a band, and then 6 months later, you can be booking them.
Sure.
Live.
No, yeah, that was definitely interesting as well. I did feel a little bit sorry for them in the respect that, like, I think in hindsight and in maybe slightly different worlds, we would have probably put them in a slightly different lineup. But to play in between Revenue and Clawmax was going to be a difficult task. But they were great on the night. The recording of this, I've listened to it again, not too long ago, and considering it is obviously the first time that I've mixed and recorded a band live like this, I still think it sounds really good, and I think that it's testament to them as how good they are and how tight they are and how good the songwriting is and that kind of thing. I think it sounds really cool. Should we listen to it?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
man. So which one is in? Because we should also say that Brunch of the band we've had on twice as well.
They are the first band to be rebooked.
Which one?
So it's The Table from the first session.
This is a song called The Table. Thanks very much.
Glorious stuff, eh?
Yeah, no, it's so good. Really is. Like, you know, I mean, it sounds like a record, like in a way. Like it doesn't sound. I mean, I think that just shows you how tight they are. I also remember as well that Brunch paved the way for people actually releasing the live session. They actually released. They released this for as a sort of charity thing, didn't they? Like a charity.
Yeah, for like Shelter or something, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly. Yeah, but which I think that was obviously really nice.
But they're all hard-working band, aren't they? They're one of those bands that they've been around for a long time, and they've sort of fairly consistently gigged. And I think they've just released I think like their third album came out.
I think
maybe
you're right,
which is actually really good. But they've got the sort of like a consistent following, but just like I guess there's that part of the whole DIY ethic, and I know they've done a few tours of the States and stuff, but they've never sort of gone through, sort of broken through. But they're a really good band, man.
I suppose it's hard, isn't it? You do kind of feel that maybe there's a slight ceiling with terms of like their kind of sound and that sort of I don't know, sort of pavementy.
Yeah.
It's never going to be proper mainstream kind of stuff,
No.
But yeah, I mean, I would always try and check them out, if whenever they're playing and stuff. So, and then obviously, headlining, bringing to a close our first session, and what a way to do it.
I've got to confess, I knew nothing about claw marks at this point. So like you were like, we'd agreed to do it, and you were really good because you were doing some work at the Victoria at the time, so you were in with a lot of the bands. And you those first sessions, you pretty much booked single-handedly. And I remember just going, "Yep, this is brilliant. Yep, and not really having an idea. And I just remember turning up like from work to do the first session and just seeing the Claw Marks guys, just like getting ready. And I think they were already like drinking.
Oh yeah, whiskey. I think I remember on the recording as well, like. The singer was drinking cough medicine because he had a bit of a chesty cough, and it's like all
and
kinds
then
of crazy stuff.
And then I remember just obviously again being downstairs, and at this point like the Paper Dress Vintage was just rammed, man. And I was just, I don't know why you couldn't even get in. Like if anyone's been to the venue, it's a really cool venue. It's like this shop bar downstairs, and you go up the stairs, and there's this fairly decent sized sort of room. And it's quite a wide room, isn't it? So I just you couldn't really get up, and then just the noise was ferocious. And then I just remember at the end, just walking up there and just seeing the singer just lying on the stage, taking his shirt off, which I now know is like a fairly normal Claw Marks gig.
Sure. Yeah, he is
amazing. A really ferocious band.
Yeah, he's such a good friend, man. I've seen them loads of times. I think I'd seen them a few, like at least 2 or 3 times before we got them down to play. But it could not have brought the first session to a better end, really. And it was really nice. Those guys were so happy with the recording as well, because it was done around a similar time. Oh no, I think they actually ended up releasing their album quite a bit later. But they'd had it recorded for a while.
Slime, actually, didn't it?
It was on Punk Slime, but they'd had it recorded for quite a while. I think they kind of couldn't believe that it sounded so good for just a kind of a recording at a quite a small little punk venue kind of thing, or sort of DIY venue as Paper Dress, especially that point was. I know they've done a lot of work to it in the last year or so. So but yeah, let's do it. So this is Temple of Wine, which I think is probably my favourite track of theirs, actually. And it's just so good.
Strong one.
It's so good. Here we go.
You know
There you go.
That was
Session
amazing.
down. Yeah, I remember the feeling after that, like, you know, when we were sort of packing everything up and just yeah, that was such a good feeling. Just relief.
Yeah, I mean, I remember feeling really good, but also packing up and the singer still being on the stage.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was really good. It was a good. It does. I remember though, speaking to Stephen at the paper dress, and he said, well, the first one is always the hardest. It's always the easiest.
Yeah.
Because people come. It's the second and third one that they don't come. And I was like, yep.
Thanks for that. Yeah.
But it was just what a good. It's been good, like listening back to them as well. So I mean, anyone who's watching this should really go back and listen to those sessions because they're really good, man. Like testament for you.
Those first ones, yeah. I'm quite happy with that, because as with everything, when you just kind of first start doing it like that, I didn't really know what I was doing. It's obviously very different to mixing a studio recording. There's so many variables as to kind of like whether it's going to sound good, and in many of the sessions that followed, there's always little things that just kind of don't quite record properly, or they're not recorded as well as you'd like. But it's kind of nice to be able to listen back and actually kind of feel that they still sound pretty good. Because
man, the energy as well. I just think like it really comes across like that tune is just like just freaking insane, which just really can, just helps you imagine what they're like live. So again, if you haven't seen Claw Marks live, go and see them.
Yeah, because I'm not sure what their plans are really moving forward. So I think definitely, I think definitely if you do see a show of theirs, you should go along to it before it's too late.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so
cool.
Rounds up session one.
Session one.
Part of the Exploding Heads diaries.
That's been nice, man. It's been a nice little trip down memory lane.
That's, man. I look forward to doing session 2.
Yeah. Well, let's get it booked in, and I will speak to you soon.
Cheers, man. Cheers.
All right. Bye.
Bye.